Hey guys, it's Sarah and I'm here with another Freckled Fawn Friday for you. So this is going to be a layout using mostly my Freckled Fawn embellishment kits along with pattern papers from my stash. So this week I am going to be scrapbooking about books. Again, I've been doing that a lot lately. So let me talk about the pattern papers here and why I chose them. So this background one right there that's on my desk is from Simple Stories. And then this one that I'm putting down right here is from Studio Calico. And I chose the Studio Calico one because to me, it kind of could look like a bookshelf. Like if you're looking at a bookshelf and you're seeing the spines of all the books, that's what it really reminded me of when I was going through my papers trying to figure out what to use with this picture. And I was like, well, it's books. I have some papers that look like library cards on the back, but I've used that a few times already, so I wanted to do something a little different. And then this one just jumped out at me as I was going through. I was like, that looks like the spines of books on a bookshelf. So that's what I decided to go with here. And the Simple Stories one, the big one, I ended up covering most of it because it was just lined paper, but I really like the tab at the top, and I'm going to use that. And there's numbers on the side as well, which don't really have a meaning, but I still like the way that it looks. And plus it's nice and basic against this really bold print here. All right, so I am going to ink the edges of a lot of these papers, and I am using Distress ink, and the color is Evergreen Bow, and I'm kind of sticking to kind of blues and greens for this one. And this paper right here is actually from a Snap album from Simple Stories. The Snap albums are 6x8 albums, and they come with papers in them already. And I had used an album for something and I had extra paper, so I just kind of put it in my scraps, so I'm going to use it here. And it's just a little extra layer that is not a busy pattern to layer on top of this really busy one here. Kind of helps tone it down a little bit. And then I also have that print paper that's sitting on my desk that is from Echo Park, and it just looks like, you know, printed from a book or something. And then the journal block I have is a pink notebook lined paper, and that's from Hampton Art. I think that's the name of the company from what I could see from the branding strip. I was a little confused. It had KI on there as well, so I don't know if that's like KI Memories and Hampton Art or if they're the same. I'm not sure. But that's what I'm going to use for my journal spot. Okay, so now I am pulling out my Freckled Fawn kits. I'm using this really large green striped alphabet for part of my title. And then I will use the smaller green vellum ones up there as part of my title as well. So my main one's going to be the big one that says both. And then my other ones will be on the top there. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting all of my stuff down. I just want to make sure everything is going to fit where I want it to go. I really need to make sure that this title fits on the spot here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that first before I put anything else down. And these are very transparent, but my ATG does not show through it. I think it's because it's colored and it has a pattern on it, so it works out really, really nicely. I'm going to go ahead and put this print down here on the bottom. I just want to see where I need to cut it to make it smaller because I don't want it to go all the way off the page. So I'm just going to cut that down, ink it up as well, and then I will put that on top of the word both. So basically all of the papers that I used and the ink are from my stash, but everything else is Freckled Fawn. So anything else you see on here, it's all Freckled Fawn. Okay, so I really like the way that that looks. And I am going to go ahead and get the rest of my title put up here. So the rest of my title is going to be physical or ebook, and then the answer is both. And I wanted to do this page because I did have this picture printed, and I accidentally printed it for some reason. I had printed it, I think, for Project Life on my Canon selfie, and I was going to use both of those pictures in it. But I ended up printing it twice for some reason. I don't know why that happened, but I printed it and then realized I already had it printed, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't want to throw it away. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll save this and maybe I'll make a page, you know, next time I want to do a page about books or something, I can have this for a picture. And one thing I really like about it is that on the left side, I have a picture of my Kindle, and it's the opening, the title of a book that I was about to start reading on my Kindle. And then the right side has a stack of books that I bought at Goodwill. And it's a really good representation of the fact that I read both. Some people are partial to physical books. Some people only read on Kindles or ebooks or iPads or something. My mom is like that. She only reads on her Kindle now. It's a little bit easier for her to, she can change the font size, and it's just easier for her to read on a Kindle versus a physical book. I do both. I love both of them. I absolutely love my Kindle. I only travel with my Kindle. So if we're going on a trip somewhere or something, I always take my Kindle with me. I don't take a physical book just because I have an entire library of books available to me anytime I want. But I also love physical books too. My bookshelves are overflowing of physical books, and I just love them. Also, sometimes the prices of physical books, especially if I get them at thrift stores or Goodwill or something like that, they can be a lot cheaper than Kindle books. It's Kindle books, like a cheap one would be $4 or $5. That's pretty cheap. But sometimes they're $11, and I'm like, well, I could get a paperback for, the same price, if not cheaper, in physical form. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the physical book, versus paying that same amount for a download. So that's why I go back and forth. And I don't mind. I think reading on my Kindle is a little bit easier. It's just as far as, holding it is easier, and putting it in my purse is easier because it's smaller. I can hold a drink while I'm reading, no problem. Whereas if I have a physical book I need to hold with two hands. I can't really do that. So technically, I guess reading on a Kindle could be easier just for more convenience, but I still love physical books as well. So I do not discriminate between either one. I give them both equal opportunity. So I also go to my library as well, and those are obviously all physical books too. So yep. So that's why I want to do this, because I enjoy both and I use both, and I think that's pretty cool. And a lot of people, when they find out that I'm a big reader, they always ask if I prefer the Kindle or the physical books, and I really enjoy both of them. So I think that's neat that I'm getting to have both of those experiences, and I enjoy both of them. Okay, so what have I done while I was rambling? I did the rest of my title. I put an enamel dot or a little pearl dot in between the ebook part, just because ebook is kind of like a hyphenated-ish word. I guess you could. Some people don't, but I just put it there. I have these little washi strips I'm putting towards the top and the bottom. That little clip there says noted. I also put the speech bubble clip above the title there. I just thought that was kind of cute, and it was blue. I'm going to use this pink ampersand since I have two different images here. I do have this little envelope, that enamel envelope, and I'm going to use that because it's not enamel. It's like a resin almost, I guess. I'm using that because a lot of ways that I find out about good deals on ebooks is I get emails about them. There's a couple different sites that you can sign up for, like newsletters, and they'll send you good deals on ebooks that are either free or cheap. And if you guys are e-readers at all, I'll leave those links down below if you want to check them out. One of them is BookBub, and the other one is Free Booksy, and you get daily emails kind of showing you some really good deals on ebooks, and you can choose if there's one that sparks your interest. You can click on a link and go to it, and it will take you to where you can buy it. Some of them are free as well, which is always good. So yeah, I'll leave links to both of those sites down below if you want to check them out. But it is like you have to subscribe to their newsletter and stuff. But for me, it's worth it. And so that's kind of why I put the envelope down there, because I do get a lot of emails about Kindle books. So it makes sense to me. Probably not to anyone looking at it, but whatever. It's my page. Okay, so now I am putting down some word strips here. Those are chipboard word strips. And then I also put a little wood button that has an owl on it above that ampersand. And owls to me kind of represent reading and wisdom. So I wanted to use that. And I just bought some bookmarks that have owls on them as well. It's really cute. And then I have a puffy heart that I put inside the speech bubble there, and then a little pink arrow pointing towards that. So put all that stuff down. I'm going to use a couple more hearts here. These are really pretty puffy hearts. And then I have this little half circle that has writing on it. And I've had that for a very long time. I want to say that's like a Studio Calico thing that came in like a die cut pack or a chipboard or something. I've had it for forever and I don't know why I've never used it. I just stuck it in my flare bowl and just, you know, never used it. And I'm trying to use, if I'm doing books, I'm trying to use stuff that looks like print. You know, like words printed on pages and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take advantage and use that here. And I put it right underneath that label. Use that other heart there. I use all that color blue. And I'm going to go ahead and do my journaling and just talk about how I enjoy both physical books and ebooks. I really do just go back and forth. It's also nice because on my Kindle, my mother, my sister, and I, we all share an Amazon account so that we can share our Kindle library. So basically, if my sister downloads a Kindle book, it'll go into the archives on mine, and I have access to it. So she could say, hey, I just downloaded this book. You know, it's something that you said you're interested in as well, so, you know, you can go download it from the archives, and I can just go on my Kindle into my archives and put it onto my homepage on my Kindle book, and I can read it. So that's nice because my mom, my sister, and I, we have very similar tastes in books, and a lot of times we want to read the same kind of stuff, so it's been nice to have that option as well. So if you are a reader on an electronic device and someone else in your family is too, I would highly encourage you to think about that. If you have the similar taste in books, it could save you a lot of money. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just get my journaling done here. And I have been scrapbooking a lot about books lately. I actually want to do a mini album as well. And I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do like some of my favorite books of all time, or and then randomly have some different genres with some of my favorite books. Maybe not necessarily my favorite of all time, but my favorite in that genre. So I'm considering doing that here sometime this year. I just haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I know I want to. Okay, I added another green arrow down there on the bottom. And I'm just taking one last look here to see if there's anything else I want to add. I do want to add something into this label on the top, but I don't think I have any words or letters that are small enough. I'm going to go through just to make sure. And I pull these out, and I'm thinking that these are going to fit, but they end up being too big because I'm going to write the word books. So I do all this, and it's like, oh, it's a little bit too long. Can I overlap them a little bit more without, you know, messing up the stuff? And no, and it just doesn't quite work out the way that I want it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those back. So those didn't work out the way I wanted. And I'm looking at those, but those were the same size, so I was like, that's not gonna work either. Now look at these. Nope, those are way too big. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna take a pen and I'm gonna write the word books with a little heart, and that, done. So that's it. That completes my layout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions at all. Check out the links I'm going to leave down below if you guys are e-readers as well. And I'm also going to leave a link to Freckled Fawn if you want to check them out. All right, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.